You know, for us, we chose to fight for our love, for our family, to give our kids a different outcome. It's like really like things don't happen to you, they happen for you. That's life. Everything is life. It happens for you. Everything is for your greatest good.
For over a decade, rumors swirled around Jay-Z, not about music, but about a secret son. Now that son, 31-year-old Rymir Satterthwaite, has finally been granted a court order to pursue a paternity test after years of being ignored, blocked, and allegedly threatened.
Do you believe wholeheartedly that Jay's your father?
I really do. And if it's not, why you can't prove me wrong?
His mother, who passed away years ago, claimed she was just 15 when Jay-Z, then 22, got her pregnant. And Rymir, he says he's not after money, he just wants the truth.
As far as a proving me wrong thing, it's go to the courtroom and basically do what everybody else would have to do. Like, it's not, you don't have to prove me wrong. I just want the truth.
But this truth could unravel everything. If proven, it wouldn't just mean Jay-Z lied, it could shake his marriage, his reputation, and his billion-dollar legacy. And as pressure builds, celebrities like Nicki Minaj and 50 Cent are throwing gasoline on the fire, while Beyonce, sources say, is scrambling behind the scenes. This is the story Jay-Z has been running from, and now it's catching up fast. Rymir Satterthwaite was just a teenager when his world was flipped upside down. After years of believing another man was his father, his mother, Wanda, dropped a bombshell. She told him that during her teenage years, she had a brief relationship with none other than Sean Carter, the man the world knows as Jay-Z. If stories like this fascinate you and you want the full truth behind the headlines, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, because what you're about to hear is only the beginning. According to Wanda, she was only 15 when it happened and Jay-Z was 22. She claimed she became pregnant shortly after and gave birth to Rymir in 1993. At the time, to avoid scandal and protect her own safety, she listed her high school boyfriend as the father on the birth certificate, a man who later turned out not to be biologically related to Rymir at all. But listen to this. Years later, that same boyfriend took a DNA test, and it confirmed he wasn't the father. That's when everything changed. Rymir began digging deeper, connecting the dots, and pushing to uncover the truth. He filed his first legal motion in Pennsylvania, asking the court to compel Jay-Z to take a DNA test. But Jay-Z never responded. Not a word, not a test, just silence. That silence became a pattern. Time and time again, Rymir filed motions, provided evidence, and followed legal procedures.
So my court case is still going on, it's still active, and I want to thank everybody who's been supporting me from day one. I want to ask y'all to keep supporting me and keep coming in, because we couldn't do it without you guys.
Each time the response was the same: deny, delay, dismiss. It didn't matter that Jay-Z was named in court documents. It didn't matter that Rymir wasn't seeking money. The system kept slamming the door in his face. And yet, Rymir didn't stop. He couldn't, because for him, this wasn't just a lawsuit. It was a mission to find out who he really was. By 2012, Rymir had taken the fight from Pennsylvania to New Jersey, hoping for a different outcome. This time, he and his legal team presented what they believed was irrefutable evidence: tax documents, property records, and even a deed tying a Sean Carter, Jay-Z's legal name, to a residence in New Jersey. This was critical because Jay-Z's lawyers had previously argued that the state had no jurisdiction over him, claiming he had no ties to New Jersey whatsoever. But with documents showing otherwise, it seemed like the case would finally move forward. But it gets worse. Jay-Z's legal team pivoted. They claimed the Sean Carter listed in those documents might not even be the same Sean Carter. In other words, they suggested it could be a totally different man with the same name. Despite the circumstantial links and mounting pressure, the judge bought the argument. The case was dismissed again. To make matters even more frustrating, the judge sealed many of the documents involved, making it harder for the public to track what was actually happening behind the scenes. Rymir's legal avenues were closing fast, and every time he pushed forward, he hit another wall built by legal technicalities, powerful attorneys, or just raw influence. It was starting to look like truth didn't stand a chance against celebrity and wealth. Still, Rymir refused to back down. He appealed, gathered more evidence, and kept knocking on courtroom doors. He believed that persistence would eventually break through, and soon that belief would bring him face-to-face with the highest court in the state. In a final push for justice, Rymir took his case to the New Jersey Supreme Court, a bold move that few expected would gain traction.
And I just want to talk about just a clean slate. with New Jersey Supreme Court and a whole lot of fraud and collusion. And I'm not pointing no fingers. I'm just asking everybody, all the judges or anybody who's working on the case, to do what's right and do their job the correct way.
But by now, his story had been circulating in niche blogs, forums, and quietly whispered industry circles. The emotional weight of his battle, the evidence dismissed on technicalities, and the unanswered court orders began painting a picture that was hard to ignore. Rymir wasn't just some guy chasing fame. He was a son searching for closure. And finally, after over a decade of legal ping pong, the court granted him the right to move forward with his case. But listen to this. The ruling didn't just give him hope. It sent shockwaves through the entertainment world. Suddenly, the man who built an empire on control, precision, and image was being forced to respond. Jay-Z, who had avoided the courtroom for years, now had a legal deadline to acknowledge the case. No more dodging, no more silence, just accountability. This shift didn't go unnoticed. Journalists began digging into old filings. TikTok and YouTube creators resurfaced Rymir's interviews. Old quotes from his late mother, Wanda, where she swore Jay-Z was the father, started trending. The public was no longer in the dark. They were paying attention. And with that attention came speculation. If the DNA test happened and confirmed Rymir's claims, what would it mean? Would Jay-Z face legal consequences? Would it fracture his carefully constructed image? Or worse, would it shake the very foundation of his billion-dollar legacy? One thing was certain, the silence was broken, and the world was watching. As the court's decision spread, the public reaction was immediate and explosive. But it wasn't just fans and bloggers who were chiming in. Some of hip-hop's biggest names jumped into the fire, dragging the story further into the spotlight. 50 Cent, never one to hold his tongue, reposted headlines about the case with a snarky caption, "Jay-Z trending for Father's Day, you are the father." And just like that, a meme became a movement. Fans flooded comment sections, reposted old photos of young Rymir, and started asking the one question Jay-Z has avoided for over a decade. Why won't he just take the test? But that's not all. Nicki Minaj added fuel to the fire in a way only she could. She retweeted news of the court order and added, "To God be the glory," with a wink that had fans speculating wildly. Some thought it was just shade. Others dug deeper and remembered the rumors of financial drama between her and Jay-Z's Roc Nation label. Just days later, she tweeted again, "Still waiting on my millions, Huv. Don't make me collect with interest." Suddenly, this wasn't just a family matter. It became a proxy war. Artists with past grievances started piling on, old feuds reignited. Everyone wanted a piece of the headlines, not just because of the drama, but because Jay-Z, the untouchable icon, was finally in a vulnerable position. And behind the scenes, sources say the Carter household wasn't taking this lightly, because while Jay-Z stayed silent, Beyonce was about to make a move no one saw coming. While the internet turned Rymir's court win into viral content, insiders say the real drama was unfolding behind closed doors, and Beyonce was not staying silent. For someone famously private and calculated, her reaction to the court's decision was described by multiple sources as furious and anxious. Reports claim she immediately put plans to release her long-awaited memoir on hold, a book that, according to publishing insiders, has been in development for over a decade. Why? Because the narrative just shifted, and the story she's been crafting about her life, her marriage, and her legacy suddenly had a gaping hole in it. Here's where it gets even messier. Beyonce has reportedly been documenting every major chapter of her personal life with the intention of controlling the story herself, from Jay-Z's highly publicized infidelity to her sister Solange's infamous elevator attack on him. And now this, the possibility that her husband has a 31-year-old son from an alleged relationship with a minor, isn't something she can gloss over. Not when the world is watching. Insiders say Beyonce is now reworking parts of her memoir and rallying her PR team to brace for impact. Her goal? To stay ahead of the narrative and protect her brand before the press starts connecting dots she'd rather stay blurred. And the timing couldn't be worse. With the court pressing Jay-Z for a response and celebrities throwing shots from every angle, Beyonce's empire is under pressure from all sides. And if she's preparing to tell her truth, it might mean everything we thought we knew is about to be rewritten. While the media spotlight has zeroed in on Jay-Z and Beyonce, it's easy to forget the person at the center of all this, Rymir Satterthwaite. And despite the internet turning his story into gossip gold, his motivations have remained surprisingly grounded. In every interview, every statement, Rymir has said the same thing. He's not after money. He's not chasing fame. He just wants the truth. "I never asked Jay-Z for anything," he once said in an interview. "I'm not trying to make him look bad. I just want to know who I am."
I never asked for money. I don't do interviews just saying, "Hey, Jay-Z, give me your money," or "I'm coming at the Jay-Z for his money." I never did that. I'm not trying to make nobody seem like a bad person or nothing. I'm just really coming out here for the truth. I don't want no money or anything. I wasn't looking for none of that.
The reason this is hitting so hard is because his story is painful and real. Raised by a single mother who always told him the truth, Rymir says he's spent most of his life feeling like he didn't belong. His mother, Wanda, died in 2016, but before her death, she publicly reaffirmed her claim Jay-Z was the father. She knew it, she lived with it, and she took that truth to the grave. Since then, Rymir's fight has only gotten more intense, fueled by grief, confusion, and a need for closure. What's more, Rymir has already done a DNA test with the man listed on his birth certificate, and the results were conclusive, not the father. That test should have ended the speculation, but instead, it opened the door to something even bigger. And now that the legal system is finally listening, the question remains. If Jay-Z has nothing to hide, why won't he take the test? With every new update, public interest in the case has exploded. Social media platforms are flooded with side-by-side photos of Jay-Z and Rymir, debate threads, conspiracy theories, and armchair DNA experts claiming they look exactly alike. But this time, it's not just about resemblance, it's about accountability. Fans are demanding answers, and even those who once dismissed the story as a reach are starting to reconsider. The legal validation of Rymir's request has shifted public perception. Now it's no longer a rumor. It's a legal matter with consequences. It gets crazier because while some are rooting for the truth to come out, others are doubling down in defense of Jay-Z. One viral tweet read, "You're trying to destroy a man's legacy just because he's rich and powerful. Leave him and his family alone." Another added, "This is all about money. That kid just wants a payday." But for every defender, there are dozens of voices reminding people that if Rymir's mother was 15 at the time and Jay-Z was 22, this isn't just a family secret. It could be something much more serious. And now, public pressure is mounting. July 18th, the court's deadline for Jay-Z to respond, is becoming a countdown event online. Hashtags like #EatSirTakeTheTest and Rymir Deserves Truth are trending, and petitions are even circulating demanding Jay-Z agree to a paternity test once and for all. The silence is growing louder, and the longer Jay-Z waits, the more people are asking, what is he so afraid of? As the July 18th deadline looms, tension is rising on every front. If Jay-Z complies and takes the paternity test, the results could vindicate him or permanently alter his legacy. If he refuses, public suspicion will only intensify, and the court may escalate the case further. Either way, the world is no longer willing to look away. This isn't just a tabloid headline anymore. It's a potential reckoning for one of the most carefully curated public figures in modern entertainment. And if the DNA test confirms what Rymir has claimed for years, it wouldn't just expose a hidden chapter in Jay-Z's past. It could trigger massive legal consequences, blow open long-sealed court documents, and redefine the Carter family image forever. Fans would question his past lyrics, his marriage, his business ethics, all of it. Every magazine cover, every Super Bowl performance, every billionaire celebration would be seen through a different lens. But perhaps the most haunting part of this story is the human cost. A young man has spent his life being denied the simplest of answers. A mother died with the weight of a secret. And now the truth is closer than ever, but still just out of reach. So what do you think? Should Jay-Z finally take the test? Is Rymir telling the truth, or is this just another twisted chapter in the never-ending drama of celebrity culture? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to stay updated as this case unfolds, with court responses, celebrity reactions, and Beyonce's rumored memoir bombshell, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because this story, it's far from over.